Welcome back to the Kelly Roach Show. Today we have a great episode where we are going to dig in to how to be a true thought leader in a world that you want to counter. And what do I mean by that? A lot of us as leaders, as business owners, visionaries, entrepreneurs, we see the world that we live in and we realize that we want to be counterculture. We want to be the change makers. We want to create a difference in the world. We want to start a new conversation. We want to be the solution in a world where we see a lot of problems. And this provides both a massive opportunity and also challenges. It's going to further rally the people that agree with you and that love your message and that are in alignment with that viewpoint. And then it's also going to turn people off. It's going to turn people away. There's going to be people who otherwise were a fan of your brand that no longer feel that semblance of closeness to you. And so you're going to both see your culture of your inner circle tighten, and then you're going to see other people that go astray. A great example of that is every Sunday, I have committed that I will post something on my social media as it relates to faith, whether it's a perspective, a Bible verse, something that draws people's attention to Sunday as a day of worship, as a day of rest, honoring God, our Father. And I did that this past weekend. And I had a whole bunch of people that were like, yes, I needed this today. Amen. Thank you. And I had one person that said, hey, Kelly, stick with business. Don't push your views on people. Not everyone has the same faith perspective. That's absolutely fine because my way of inviting people to deepen and strengthen their faith is really stemming from a core belief that there's one God and we're all in pursuit of a relationship with God. And everyone finds their own pathway, their own way of deepening and strengthening their spiritual practice and spiritual beliefs. And I am intentional not to aggressively push a certain framework or methodology on people. Although I identify as a Christian, I am a Christian person and I do believe in Jesus Christ. And I try not to forcefully push that on people, but instead invite people into considering making that a bigger part of their lives and considering prioritizing reading the Bible, getting back to church, teaching their children about the faith, making that a centerpiece of their lives, because I believe that our mission being here on the planet is deeply tied to that. I believe that joy and peace and happiness and success are really deepened and strengthened by faith. And that's really what it's all about. But that's just an example that you're always going to have that. You're going to have the people that see and embrace that viewpoint, that are further engaged when I share content like that. And then there's going to be other people that otherwise really might like my business content, but are like, why are you talking about religious things or spiritual things or whatever the case? And I think this is a great example of demonstrating the point that I want to make today. There's a lot of things that I have opinions and beliefs on that I don't share online and that I won't share online because I think that you need to know three core things before you decide whether or not you are going to bring something into a thought leadership conversation. And depending on what your objective is with your social platform, you want to have a framework for making decisions about what you will and will not share about. Now, that said, some people are really called and have decided to use their social platform as their social work in the world to share their opinions and their beliefs about socioeconomic things, culture, religion, government, politics, all of those things. And I'm not here to tell you that you should or shouldn't do that because I think that, again, it comes down to a framework for making decisions and whether or not that decision to use your platform in that way is in alignment with what you feel your greater calling and your bigger purpose is. That's completely unique to each and every one of us. That's something that you have to decide in your own meditation, in your own reflection, in the power of decision about how you decide to use your platforms. Now, That said, I want to give you three thinking points that I want you to consider in making the decision about how you will step forward as a thought leader, especially in a world where you want to be counterculture. Number one, is this a hill that you're willing to die on, metaphorically? And what does that mean? Is this something that is so central to your beliefs, so central to your mission, so central to who you are as a person that it's not worth you not doing it? You'd rather not do it at all if you're not going to share this part of yourself. There's a lot of areas that I am very discerning and choose not to discuss or share online because they're not hills that I'm willing to die on, meaning I don't believe that they are central to my core mission. However, a couple years ago, I decided that sharing my faith was a hill that I was, in fact, willing to die on. And what I mean by that is it is so central to who I am. And it is so central to the message that I want to bring to the world. And it is so central to what I want my work to be built on and around and through that I'm not willing to do this work anymore if I can't share that part of myself. And so, in making that decision a couple years ago that I was going to bring my faith into my business, I made the decision definitively that I was absolutely okay with losing as many fans, followers, supporters, whatever the case, as it took to be able to move my message and move my brand to centralize around this core theme because I believe it touches on everything that I am, everything that I want to create, everything that is in the message that I want to share. You have to ask yourself when you're deciding how to be a thought leader in the world of today, what are the hills that you're willing to die on? What is so important to you? Not because you're pissed off today, not because you have an opinion or a thought or a feeling that you want to share. What is so central to the work that you're doing that you feel is tied to your greater purpose and the bigger vision for your life that you can't do this work completely anymore without sharing this part of you? And for me, I shared about this when I talked about moving from Inevitable Millionaire to Kairos, which is my most precious inner circle. It's my program that is only run by me. It's the only thing within my scope of all six of my companies that is exclusively run by me. That is all of my thought leadership, all of my IP, all of my most intimate stories and work and learnings and wisdom. When I moved that from Inevitable Millionaire to Kairos, I did that with putting a stake in the ground that this is going to be my central theme of the work of my life for the rest of my life. And so, whatever the consequences were of that, I was completely fine with that. So I felt in making that decision that it was no longer transparent or honest for me to do the work that I'm doing, teaching people how to build 7 and 8 figure companies without talking openly about the faith that is required to do so. I didn't feel that I could do one without the other and to do it with integrity. And so that was a big part of that decision for me after I went through everything I went through and all the transformation and all of the changes and all of the challenges and all the highs and all of the lows that got me to where I am today. I didn't feel it would have felt disingenuous to me to not speak about that. Okay. Number two, the second thing that you want to look at in making a decision about the way that you pursue thought leadership is how does what you're talking about connect or benefit your audience in relationship to what you do? Now, I want to share this message again with you because I want to make sure that this is a well rounded conversation in the way that we're discussing this. Not everything in your life has to tie back to your business. Not everything that you do has to tie back to your business. You can have passions and creative pursuits and hobbies and philanthropy and investments and all sorts of other things that have nothing to do with your business. I want to be very clear about that. But I want to add and contextualize in this conversation if you're using social media for the purpose of your business, then everything that you do on that account and in that context should benefit your audience and should correlate with what it is that you are trying to share, the message that you're trying to get across, the impact that you're trying to make. So, the question that you should ask yourself when you're deciding about a topic that you're going to share or integrate into your brand or the thought leadership that you want to step into that is counterculture, it's how do you connect this to the broader conversation that relates to your business? Because again, you want to be a good steward of people's time. So if someone's coming to your account and they're coming there and you've positioned this account as being about ABC, XYZ, you want the account to benefit them in that way, right? Makes sense. You want to be a good steward of their time. So if you're deciding to integrate new things that are counterculture and have to do with your beliefs and things that you want to bring into the world that you maybe haven't previously, the question I would ask yourself before you do that is, how will this benefit your audience? And how can you do this in a way that makes a meaningful difference and is of service to them? The third thing, and this is very, very important that I would add to this, is that if you decide to go there, you should be providing a bridge to freedom. Again, if you decide to integrate a topic into your brand and you decide you want to claim thought leadership in a new and different way, you should be both stating the problem and the solution. And this goes back to conviction marketing. For anyone that has read that book, and that book turned into $1 million marketing agency, if you're going to go there, let's really go there. Let's not just complain. Let's not just have an opinion. Let's not just bash what's going on and talking about what's not working and what you don't like about this or what your opinion is on that. Let's bring solutions. So if you don't have a solution to bring to the party and you don't have a way to be a true leader in crossing that bridge for people, then that's the work that you're being invited to do right now. That's the deepening and strengthening work that you're being invited to do right now. Because it's all well and good to demonstrate thought leadership by having an opinion or to have a counter idea on how things should be done. But what does it really mean as a thought leader if you don't have a plan? If you don't have a pathway, if you can't actually lead people to and help them to cross over to where they want to be, right? And where they want to go. And as an entrepreneur, what you have to challenge yourself to think about and wrap your head around is, how are you offering a bridge to freedom with the ways that you want to provide counterculture? Now, maybe that's your products, your programs, your services. But if you're looking to expand your platform to integrate more topics that are beyond the scope of the normal day to day conversations that you're having in your business world, you have to think about the internet connectivity to the brand. You have to think about how you're benefiting the audience. You have to think about the bridge that you're going to lead them across. And all of this really matters because, on one hand, when you put that stake in the ground and you decide to be a thought leader, you're creating that energetic polarization of the people that are rallying in, the people that are leaving. But at the same time, there's going to be that group in the middle that easily could be engaged and invited to come over into this new world that you're merging into, but not if you don't have a great plan or show what's in it for them or benefit them by leading them somewhere. And I know that I've experienced this many times when there was a thought leader that I was following online, that, I was getting their content in my feed or whatever the case. And I don't spend much time on social media anyway, but, if I'm logging in to check my accounts or whatever, you have certain accounts that always come up for you. And, I would have these accounts come up where this person would like get this idea stuck in their craw and they would just be talking about it like incessantly. But it's almost like they're talking at you, but not really for you. And it has nothing to do with you. And it has nothing to do with their account. It has nothing to do with their business. It has nothing to do with anything. They just decided that they were going to do this like very aggressive season of like talking about this one thing. And it seems kind of strange when it's very disconnected from the larger scope of what they're doing. And there's no real relevance that ties back to what they're doing. Now, on the flip side, I think there are massive opportunities for thought leadership within the realm of your business that we are severely lacking right now. And this comes back to innovation, disruption, assessing the gap in your space, and making sure that you're updating and innovating around the solutions that you're providing to truly provide superior solutions. And I believe that the businesses that are going to win in this season are the ones that are incredible marketers, but have superior back end delivery. Lifetime value of a customer is more important than ever in the season that we're in. And the more that you can focus on being a thought leader and allowing your audience to see your own evolution, watch your growth, watch your disruption, see how your solutions are becoming better and better, they're going to want to stay with you longer, reform more often, spend more money with you. Okay. So I hope this gave you a framework with these three powerful decisions or questions when you're considering whether or not to expand your thought leadership in a certain way or how to expand your thought leadership in a certain way. And that's going to include, is this a hill that you're willing to die on? Is this going to directly benefit your audience? And are you able to provide a bridge to freedom? I hope this episode was helpful. And I want to give a big shout out and thank you to Maria Fontana of Maria Fontana Consulting, because she actually suggested this topic. She wrote it in from a post that I did. So check out Maria's work. She is absolutely phenomenal. I've been honored and blessed to have her in our world. And thank you, Maria, for introducing a great topic for today's show. Thanks for tuning in. And if you're looking for rapid, profitable, and sustainable growth in your business, make sure you scroll on down below and check out the virtual business school. You can get started today for just $59 a month. No contract, cancel anytime with 30 days notice, or $639 for the entire year for a limited time. This is where you are going to get marketing master classes, new modules every single month, co-working, Q&A, and so much more. We're giving you templates to use in your business for high converting social media each and every month. And there are loads of bonuses that we release to shock and all our members as we go. So I hope to see you inside the virtual business school. Make sure you check it out, scroll on down below. And if you love today's episode, sharing is caring. Pass it on along.